What's going on YouTube? Today we're doing a deck profile for Koby and OP11. This deck has probably received the least amount of love, probably next to Shirahoshi. A lot of people are just like not playing Koby at our locals, except the one hero here, Wild Pasta Pirate, and this is his list. It's honestly a ton of fun, and I like for him to break down his deck profile and talk to a little bit about his deck. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess start off simply with two dolls. I think doll's a really nice card in the deck. She provides a lot of support as well because you can just on play -6 to a character. Allows you to have some good engagement because your leader allows your sword type characters to attack the turn they're summoned, so they don't have like summon sickness essentially. So you can pair this up, or you can pair it up with another good removal card of the deck, which is Honesty Impact, or just any type of like follow-up. She's good.
Do you like her at 2?
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to push her up to 3-4, but there's times where you just see her and you don't necessarily need her, I would say. I think it's all personal preference. It depends on what kind of deck that you're playing, if you're trying to be more offensive or defensive.
Gotcha.
Because she's better if you're trying to go more control, more defensively in a sense. But if you're just trying to be more aggro because you have other means, you don't really need her too often.
Okay.
Because I've noticed by trial and error, she hasn't really come up to a point where I like really needed her, essentially.
Yeah,
but besides that, run 3 Borsalinos.
Okay.
I think he's probably just the next best thing inside the deck.
Yeah.
For those unfamiliar with him, he rests himself to allow your Navy type characters, and I believe maybe the leader.
Up to one of your leader or characters can also attack active, which is super good.
So he's the main way that's turning on your characters to attack active characters, because obviously you can't attack an active character unless you have a rule that says otherwise.
Right.
So that
do you like him at 3?
I think 4 is probably where he probably should be at.
Okay.
3 is just kind of where he's at because what my list is.
Yeah.
Personally, if anything, I could probably drop Doll and just add another one of him and then something else. Because for me, Doll hasn't been putting in that much work as it has probably for other people, right?
Okay.
But
yeah,
it just
totally
depends.
valid.
Because the next block in the deck, because we're running a total of, 8 blockers altogether, is Ripper. Ripper is really good. Ripper is a blocker only if you have another black Navy type, though, and that's his problem. I don't know why they decided to lock him like that.
Yeah.
It really kind of hurts.
Just needed a little weenie blocker just to have him.
Yeah, so if anything, I could honestly just get rid of the Ripper and Boris the Borsellino or Boris the Doll. So that could be a 4th Borsellino, and that could be 2 more dolls, if anything.
I noticed also they did this for Anana. They made it having to control another color, which is interesting for the weenie blockers. I guess to not make them super broken.
I guess it's just like at the end of the day, they're still weenie blockers. They don't really attribute much besides like one good chump block if you're lucky. But there's a plethora of cards in the game that allow you to remove them, so it's not like they needed any type of more restriction on them. They're one of the most easiest cards to remove in the game, besides searchers, essentially, right?
Right.
So following that up though, Ripper's been great. It just sucks at times because you play out your searcher and your red searcher and you don't have a way to block with it because she's red. Your color matches and this and that.
Yeah, especially I feel like just a little side note into Yamato. Like right now, I know a lot of people
really
are playing. It helps out, but like you're saying,
you don't have that brand new,
if you don't have the brand new, or you don't have the like 2 of them out on board, so at least
if Ripper doesn't include himself.
Oh, Ripper doesn't include.
It has to be some type of other black. So unless you're already, if you're starting off, you need to have a brand new. Otherwise, you have to have some other means, which really does suck about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I see the issue.
Ripper really doesn't synergize too well. And after that, we're just playing 2 of the event searchers.
Okay.
I would like to play more, but at the moment we kind of want bodies because of my big boss monster. Essentially, I'd rather have bodies than events. Essentially, it's a great card in Koby because no matter what, you're getting 3 cards in trash, and no matter what, you're always getting your protection off of just 1 card alone. So that's why this card is good. It allows you to mill up and find what you need because it's not color locked or type locked or anything. You can find whatever you need, red or black.
Okay, so it's top 3. Look at top 3 and then that.
So it's brand new, just not on legs.
Gotcha.
Following up to that, as I just said, when it comes down to the searchers, we're running 4 of the peacock.
So this is the new searcher, right?
Yeah, she's just all around good on play. She just searches out 5. She can't find herself, which is unfortunate. But it doesn't trash him. It does bottom deck him, so it helps you early game not lose too many important pieces. She also has that ability where she can trash herself to +1 to another character, so it allows you to boost up and allow you to control a little bit more. I like that. Helps you fill up your trash as well.
Yeah, also makes your leader effect live, right? So like if you just need a 3rd card in trash and you don't have one, you can just boop, trash her, bump, and then now you have protection for your ward.
Yeah, so again, the fact that it gives almost any character as well on field, so you can just pair it up with almost anything you got, pop it off.
Very nice. Yeah.
So yeah, from there, that's those 4 searchers, and then after that, we're on 4 brand new. Brand new just gets the job done essentially.
Mills
I don't know where you want to put it, but
Yeah.
get the searches situated, you know.
Yeah, mills the top 3 and adds one of them.
Yeah, brand new is just too good in the deck. Same thing applies for the event. You know, it gets 3 cards, 2 cards in trash. Essentially, gets to replace itself, and it's a body. It turns on your Ripper, which is most needed, and it's an early body to really work with. You know, attacking if need be.
Yeah, you're on 10 searches total, correct?
Yeah.
For the deck, yeah.
So there should be some pretty good luck. After that, we're following it up with 4 Kuzans. The new Kuzan of the set. He's not too bad. He's pretty good. He's pretty iced out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you feel about this new Kuzan for this deck specifically? Do you like him?
For this deck, you know, in particular, he definitely needs to be in it because just like Borsellino, these are the only cards that allow you and your leader to be able to attack. Okay. Otherwise, you're dead in the water, just relying on your opponent to just be naive, essentially.
Gotcha.
So you need to be able to turn on your own effect whenever the heck you need to.
So very important to make sure that you can be able to attack.
It should probably be literally 4/4 because
4/4,
these would turn on this deck to be anything in the first place.
Yeah, valid.
His on play as well trashes 3 cards, so it gives you the protection. So you know for a fact you can go Kuzan, give yourself 3 cards, and it's not dying the next turn because your opponent can't out it.
Yeah, and the one attacking effect, so is it leader or characters? Yeah, so leader or characters, that's why it's so good. Gotcha.
Yeah, so versatile. So a preferred turn that I've seen with this deck is that you want to go second. You go second, you play out your Kuzan. Follow up, you have 6 Dawn, you play out your Habari. You give your Kuzan the ability, you give the attack ability to Habari. Now Habari clears out something as well that she reducted by 2,000. And then you also get your leader to finish off something that if you didn't clear it already, essentially.
Right.
So you get 3 good swings. So following that though, we got the on paper 2K counter that sounds pretty good, which would be Virgo. Virgo, when he's attached with the Dawn, he cannot be KO'd in battle. So that paired with Kobe's protection ability, he has 2 protections. So on paper, he seems like a really good card. I've seen a lot of other people also trying to tech him in. It just sucks because there are times where you just don't feel good dropping him. But if you do, depending on your matchup, he will come into play. I've had a grind game against a blue-purple Luffy where he just could not remove the Virgo, but he just goes, 9 mom, I just protect it. And he's just like, well, what are you going to do? And he's just there punching every turn. He can't get rid of it because he can't beat it down either.
Unbeatable. Literally, as long as you have cards in trash and he's on board, I mean, you're kind of just chilling, right?
Yeah, he's a pretty strong body because even if things aren't going right and going well for you, you could always just swing big with Virgo because you know he's last the next turn.
Yeah, Virgo's secret tech. I like this. I like
on
this a lot.
paper, he seems like he'll be a good job. We'll just see how it all plays out. Following that up, we got 3 more 2K counters. We're running the Prince Grus, whatever. What is that? Grits?
Gross.
Anyways. We're playing the homie here. He just allows you to turn off your opponent's blockers, but they have to be at 2K power, so it's not the greatest.
But counter to the weenie blockers.
It's right, so it depends on what your turns are and how the board state is, because obviously it's a win attacking effect. It's not an on play or an active main, so your opponent has to already have something rested for you to turn on that ability.
Right.
The good thing about it though, when you do, it's for the turn.
Oh.
So it's not just for that one attack. That
So
just turns off.
It's just
boop, so like you get luckily, like say you're going against like a blue purple, right? They already have like a big mom rested or whatever. They have their cat blocker or some crazy shit, right? So you're able to just go play juice, tack into whatever the body is, stop whatever blockers they have. You can go doll -6 on the Katakuri. Now the Katakuri can't block, and then hopefully they were relying on a giant and 0 life in a Katakuri. You can just punch them hard. You know, something along the lines like
very spicy combo. Yeah, I see it.
It's niche.
I see the lines.
But that's why I just have a 3/3. You could probably drop it and tweak it any way you want. I don't run Very Good because Very Good is not very good. He's very bad. He's also only playable off of the 7 drops in Goku. Spoiler: I do not play that in this deck. He is a hit or miss depending on your list, what you want to run. Me, it doesn't feel too good. I've had moments where I played him and I'm like, yeah, boom, bop. You know, I feel great about it now. So past that though, onto the last bit of 2Ks, we're running the Aramakis.
This is definitely the best, one of the best abilities for 1 cost.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
Active main, you may trash this card, this character if your leader has the Navy type. Up to 1 of your Navy type characters can also attack active characters during this turn, then trash 2 cards. So it fills your. This is another card that will fill your trash, and then
it allows you to clear out something as well.
Yeah.
So like, say if you're able to get everything established, say your opponent, just another example. I don't know why blue purple Luffy is kind of like my example right now.
I mean, it's pretty popular.
It's gonna be relevant, right?
Yeah.
So like, they already established a Zorodro, and you already have like a brand new established on your turn, right? You're able to just go Aramaki give the brand new the ability to attack, and then potentially swing 4 into it. It's not great, but it gives you some before the interaction, and hopefully you can get rid of it.
This into the bond clays one.
That is another
I mean,
theory. Yeah.
like you're just like, okay, if I don't know if you are playing big bodies, but it's for the sake you are playing big bodies late game. That's something you need to out, right? So very good into bond clay.
Yeah, you have a lot of good options for it. But besides that, getting into the non-counter of the deck,
One of the craziest event cards.
yeah, what I think is probably the best removal for the deck would have to be Honesty Impact.
Sheesh.
Honesty Impact just minuses 4 to a character, then KOs a 6-cost character, not base.
Insane.
So it pops all forms of 10k power characters. If you're able to pair it up with Doll, you can pop any 18k in the game, or wait, no, any 16k in the game, which doesn't exist.
Yeah. Pop a 16k, bro.
Yeah, so no matter what, it does suck because you have to waste these two just to pop a 12 because there's not anything really in the deck to allow. That does that does power reduction.
Unless you already have the 5 her.
Habari, no, Habari is only on play when she.
Oh, it's only on play for the reduction.
So unless there was some way to give yourself a Dawn, like a red Tashika or something like that, we can't do it because it's 5 and 6, so that's 11.
But I mean, this basically takes care of almost.
If you're running to a 12k power, you're out of your luck. You might be out of your depths, but that's why we also run some spices to help deal with those.
But even just the reduction alone could go a long way. Just to rip cards from him or whatever the game state is late game.
Because the thing about it, you're not always being forced to pop just one card. You can just go -4 to a character that's already rested, use the pop effect, get rid of like a blocker or something else annoying, and you still can swing into whatever you reducted.
Yep.
So it's not a total loss. I think 3 is fine. It helps out a lot.
Especially
with Buggy right now.
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot for Buggy because it turns us back on, and you're not totally AWOL. And then what else?
So good into Buggy. So good into Buggy.
A lot of good matchups currently. Was it Sanji Pudding and this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
But move on to the next card. It will be 3 of the Habaris.
Ooh.
4 is probably acceptable. She is probably one of the better cards in the deck because her on play gives you that -2 to a character, and then you can follow up by using her to attack. She transforms to a 7, and she turns your leader into an active attacker.
She is also non-counter as well.
That's why I dropped her down to 3 because she's nice, but I'm not always playing her.
Right.
She's not always my go-to.
Right.
Like I stated earlier, it's good to go Kuzan into Habari because that allows you to give Kuzan the ability to go Habari. Habari tries to clear out a body really quickly, and then you follow up the Koby if need be.
Yeah, just needing the just filling up your trash and then throwing down Kuzan and protecting him at like all costs is like the name of the game with the rippers and then your leader ability.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I could definitely see it. I see it.
Yeah, but she is always nice. That -2k sometimes it's really good. If your opponent doesn't know what's going on, they don't respect the leader or whatnot, you can catch a lot of people slipping. Going on to the next one, we're running 4 of the Hamepos. I think Hamepo's kind of self-explanatory, right, for the deck. He is the Moria, he is the Rebecca, he is that discard 1 card, draw 1 card, play out a sword with a cost of 8 or less.
So you're filtering, you're playing out a body.
It's just
crazy.
Good. The only downside to him is the fact that whatever you play off of his effect has to get bottom deck at the end of the turn. So if you are playing out your 8-drop Kobys, you're going to lose them at the end of the turn, which is really, really bad. You don't want to really be doing that. A lot of people are talking about you can play around this just by playing out another character, putting the Koby back in trash, that way you save it. I just don't think you play Koby off of the metal personally. That's just what I believe.
Unless you already have maybe a few in trash already.
Yeah, if you already have some in trash, if you're in a position where it's not like a bad idea, because you can always like say on turns, towards a turn 3, whatever it is, where you have 6 Dawn, you play a Mepo, play out the Koby. You're in advantage at that point because the Koby's is a 9k, maybe 10k swinger into whatever your opponent just played.
Right.
So that's really good. It's just towards the later game where you're already at that 8-10 Dawn, it's just better for you to play Koby in general over than off the.
Just a way better card to keep on the field, just because of the when attacking effect, which we'll get into.
Yeah, Koby honestly is really great. The only sad thing I have about him is that he's not protected by his own leader.
Oh Lord! So
Koby's protection is 7k base or less.
You hear it here, guys. Koby cannot protect Koby, unfortunately.
Sad life, sad life.
That is a sad life because it is not a 7,000 base power character. That is tragic.
Yeah. As we stated before, though, Koby is just a really strong card because his on play allows him to give any character, including himself, the ability to attack active characters. So that's really strong. Obviously, giving a character that just got played the ability to attack characters, and he doesn't have attack sickness, right?
Right.
So it's just really good. When attacking, return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom deck. Give any character plus 1,000 to the end of your opponent's next turn. So he can transform into a 10, transform your lead into a 6. Say you're playing a spicy leader that's already a 6k, now you're a 7, right?
Right.
So some crazy crackhead wants to play this in purple black Luffy. They go by Luffy, turn himself to a 7, swing with the Koby, and then turn themselves into a fucking 8 or whatever, right? But really, that's the main takeaway for Koby. He's just your boss monster that wants to boost you up. If you can get at least 2 on the field and you have a good amount of trash, you can always stay at 7, or you can boost one up, or both of them up to 10. Your opponent has to deal with 2 10k powers. He can be problematic. He's definitely your stronger boss card.
No, for sure.
And to finish it off with my boss monsters, I think it's just one of the best cards in general. I think for Stussy's, Stussy is just absolutely insane. She clears absolutely anything, doesn't matter what it is, it just KOs it.
Yep, and it's not like a trash from hand either, it's just on field.
Yeah, on field. Yeah. So the only downside to Stussy is that you do have to trade 1 for 1, so you have to have another character on board to remove it. But as the ruling states, Stussy does include herself when she is played, so she'll recognize, her effect will go off because she technically was played. She will recognize herself as a character. She can trash herself and then trash something else. So
yeah,
you're playing over a very expensive Rygo.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you want to go neutral because the body on board might be just too much to deal with.
So say you have like 3 Kobys on board or some crazy hypothetical where you don't want to remove what you already have on field. Stuff so you can just sack yourself. It does suck, but it's just an option if you're there.
Right. Just want to make sure you have all these low cost guys that you're playing like early. Like maybe you could just say, okay, instead of using her for the +1, I'll just save her for the trash effect.
Yeah, because depending on how the game playing goes for the rest of the time, you're always going to at least have a brand new, maybe a Ripper, and maybe one of these on field just chilling at times. You're always going to be playing some type of curve like this. Your Hemmepo will also allow you to get something else. And it's just all around good because you'll always have options to be able to use Stussy for. She's not, unreliant, essentially. Yeah. She's always going to get some type of form, some form of removal.
Yeah, I agree, and especially when you're just dealing with, like, just in this meta, I feel like there's still people who are playing the big bodies, so you gotta remove.
You have to deal with giant. It's not all the time that you can really just be able to punch something or just beat it up with your cost reduction. Sometimes you just gotta outright remove things. There's not that many decks that are doing protection right now, besides I guess like Blackbeard because they have Burges and like Kuzan. But besides that, there's no really any other deck that has protection right now.
Right.
Besides Buggy?
Buggy, Koby.
So yeah, the protection right now is really niche, so you're gonna most likely always gonna pop out of it. But all in all, that's what I've been working with. That's what I feel feels the best at the moment. I was running like Monet before in the deck. It's like she was a 1-of, but I think if you do play her, you bump her up for sure to at least 2, 3, maybe 4, depending what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
End of the day, she just reducts -1 to a character, and then she
attaches
gives you 2 Dawn.
Yeah,
so that either can turn on Virgo for free, or it can just allow some other type of removal. So you got to think of it like +3k, +3k, -3k, whatever you want to say.
What do you think this deck's hardest matchups are?
Just any type of high end or anything with protection, essentially. Because at the end of the day, the ability to be able to attack characters and active characters is really nice, but if they have a blocker, all your hard work's in vain.
Right.
Because I can set up all this to get rid of this one character, block. Well, darn, I had to commit X amount of Dawn to do this move. Now I can't have any follow up. So I would say any type of decks that have high bodies, because you have to commit a lot to it already. But that's why the Stussy tries to help mitigate that. You're able to deal with aggro, I would say, in a sense, because you have a decent amount of counter and you have some good early on blockers as well. A lot of your stuff allows you to deal with it because they're always going to be low power as well, right? So I don't think Bella Betty's too bad. I haven't played against it personally, so I have to just find out, right? Other than that, though, blue-purple is kind of just insufferable.
Yeah, blue-purple is just...
I can play against it for a little bit, you can survive, but eventually they're just going to lull you down. They're always playing typically 2 characters a turn.
That's hard. It's hard to answer.
Even if the big mom's not getting rid of a body, they're still healing a life.
Healing, yep.
It can get difficult. Green-purple, I don't think it's too bad, but if they do just luck sack you and just see like a pudding after pudding after pudding, it doesn't matter how much you can get rid of it. Yep. I had a match against Crash that's yesterday when we were play testing. Literally 2-3 matches, he had Sanji putting back to back to back. I literally honestly impact Kobe's, got rid of them back to back to back, but at a certain point it just gets to where I can't keep up with it. Yeah, it's overwhelming. So I think it's just mostly that. The deck is fun. It needs a lot more support. It doesn't know what it wants to be. That's the sad part, unfortunately. Hopefully when we get that promotional Kobe, it'll be good because he transforms your base Kobe into a 7k power. And he's protectable as well because he's a 7k.
So that's the future for Kobe. What do you think you'll cut for the promotional buggy, and like what are your ratios and thoughts on that?
At the moment, I really have no idea because I don't know what else might be coming out in that future set, essentially, or when that card even comes out. We might get some cards that might, you know, go well with it. Who knows? We might get a surprise structure deck for somebody that might support somebody else that is helpful for us.
Yeah, for sure.
But now I think it's fine. I think you can definitely tweak some of these numbers to whatever you personally prefer. You know, you the viewer, essentially.
Yeah.
But I do like it. I think Virgo's really good if he does stick, but you can easily switch this out with something else. And you can switch out whatever you prefer with the 7-drops and Gokus. I've seen people do. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you have synergy. You got to make sure that everything's going consistently and you can actually do something. You don't want to try to be one thing and then you're out here having a bunch of nonsense as well inside your deck that's not working well with it.
No, absolutely. I think this is definitely a solid core foundation for like people to go off of and then try to conform it. This is definitely some spice.
Yeah.
Hopefully people find much success with it being kind of like you're saying, like the protection, it's kind of like shifting into that direction, right? Because you still have like Tashigi, like green decks have Tashigi, and then, you know, now there's different forms of protection like Buggy, and then
it's not like you're always gonna run into a deck that's protection, but there are a lot of decks now that has forms of protection, and it's just hard to deal with, or they just have multiple threats, so your one form of removal is not gonna be enough. Because like you said, Bonnie herself can just be a problematic deck because she runs just a simple Cavendish that can recycle them. Same thing with the green yellow Law, but they run like a, you know, what is the Capone that also deals with it.
Yeah, so I mean, like even like yellow, the Supernova, like you're saying, the kid, I mean, there's just Bandai just printed a lot of cards that say, hey, protect your cards.
People, like, they drop out on the kid, you're like, oh, darn kid. I go, Honesty Impact. And they're like, oh, a beige just says, put the kid in life. And you're like, what the?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just...
fun
deck.
A lot of playtesting. So you, basically what it boils down to is, maybe it gets a little bit better with the promotional Koby in the future, hopefully.
It needs a little bit better support, a little bit more counter support cards as well, because all your good cards are basically getting played to help you out get things situated. And like your good boss monsters are basically non-counter, so you're sitting there trying to stockpile until you hit that dawn to play out your boss monsters with essentially no counter in hand. And then by the time you establish those boss monsters, you don't have enough more counter to defend yourself. So it's a really finicky thing. I don't know. I don't really know how to fix the deck, to be honest.
So have you thought about maybe
because like people talk about Rad Beam,
Navy boss monsters such as like Isho or like obviously the 10 cost Kuzan it doesn't matter,
There's
right?
no reason to go that route simply because you don't have cost reduction. You're not a cost reduction deck. You are a BP reduction, and you want to throw hands. That's what you want to do.
Even just ripping two cards and establishing a body alone kind of does.
It's great, but at the time I think it's.
But you just rather do this.
I think it's too slow.
Okay. Yeah, no, totally valid. I like this Stussy. I'm not knocking this Stussy.
It's just brainstorming for everybody to think about what they might prefer, because everyone thinks of everything differently. People run dragons, people run Shanks, some people can run a Rogers for all we flipping know.
Right.
It's at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference.
Even red. 10 red boss. I mean, like, what about 10 cost Shanks? What if you're just like already have a board established and you're like, maybe a boss monster like that with the reductions and shit might be good.
It really just depends on what you feel more comfortable with. Because 10-drop Shanks is a really good card, I would say, in this deck, because he can reduce 1,000, allow you to punch things a lot more easier.
10-12.
Yeah, he could definitely easily replace the Stussy if he decided to. I just like kind of instant removal, essentially.
Versus just punching, being aggressive. Because this deck isn't like really aggressive. I mean, unless you're seeing like Hemepos, like Hemepo.
Basically, your game plan is basically see Kuzan into anything else you need. That way you can deal with whatever board gets established. Until then, you're kind of just beating up your opponent, maybe hitting them hard for life until they start playing something to stop you from doing whatever you do. And then you really engage with them and just kind of stop them from there.
Yeah, I think, so like, just for a closing, this deck loves to go second because you can go search, and have like different ways of searching. Then your turn 2, you want to throw down the Kuzan.
You have a lot of turn 1 options if you go second. If you go first, you don't have as many.
You have a bunch of ways to look for this Kuzan, right? And then you hopefully the initial plan is to either open him or find him off your searches. And then now you're like, okay, now I need to start looking for Hemepo. Hopefully I can find him, and then just fill your hand so that way you're building it for your even dawn turns. Yeah, I love the deck, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it too. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you do enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on the video. It does help. If you guys want to become members, it gives you access to deck lists and early gameplay videos. I would like to welcome the newest member, Felipe Paiva, Marquise, Pola Burr 78, Simon Anderson, Joyboy G5, Moglin, Simon Luke, Cronus ZX, Seven Drakers, Daddy Vader, Lagoon, Pokeblue, S Snake. Oh, I'm sorry, Nate K and S Hawk. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for being members of the Mixed Nation community, and I love you guys.